Good Thursday morning, everyone. Welcome back to Weather with Sim again. I hope you guys are all having a great day so far. And in today's weather forecast, we're going to be going over the threats for severe storms the next couple of days. And today looks to be the highest concern as significant severe storms will be possible. So we will be going over that. And then we'll also be talking about how we may still have the potential for a major hurricane at the end of this month, and models don't really show it as organized as they did the last few days, and they also don't show it as strong either, which kind of gives some really bad agreement right there that this probably won't be as strong. But we'll still be keeping an eye on it to see what the models start to show these next few days. It just depends on how exactly what they say, but for as of right now, they're showing that it will be very unorganized and won't be as strong, but we will be going over that at the end of today's video. But don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button down below if you are new here to the YouTube channel, or if you haven't subscribed already, make sure to do that, and don't forget to leave any comments, questions, or concerns. But let's first go ahead and look at the threats for severe storms for today. And as you guys can see, we do have a slight risk level 2 out of 5 threat for severe storms across parts of eastern Minnesota, pretty much the eastern half of Minnesota, back into parts of western Wisconsin, the eastern half of Iowa, into parts of northwest Missouri, and as well as eastern Kansas will be the area to be keeping an eye on, as we could be seeing a threat for some tornadoes. We're talking a 5% risk for tornadoes for today, which does look to be more concerning than what we had yesterday. So you guys across parts of eastern Minnesota into parts of western Wisconsin need to be on high alert for the potential of spin up tornadoes for today, possibly getting close to EF2, because conditions will be very favorable. So make sure to be on high alert, and of course have your tornado action plan in place just in case if you do live in Minnesota or Wisconsin. And then for the wind threat, we do have a threat for some damaging winds heading from Minnesota all the way down into parts of eastern Kansas, so pretty much includes the entirety of the slight risk. And then for the hail threat, hail looks to be pretty much a concern across parts of where we have that tornado threat in place. And the area that we are especially watching for is this black color that you see. So it's pretty much this round black color that you see those little strips going through that indicates a chance for 2-inch hail. We're talking that potential for 2-inch in diameter hail or greater for today, and that's why we could see significant severe weather. So be aware that very large hail could be occurring, and that means you need to be bringing your cars into your garage, and you need to be covering objects so that way they are protected, including any plants or animals that you have out there. Make sure they are protected for today, because very large hail can be a disaster. But let's go ahead and now look at tomorrow's threat. For tomorrow, not as concerning as today, but we definitely will need to be watching tomorrow closely, as we may see a little bit of severe weather across parts of southwest Michigan, parts of northern and western Indiana, including northwest Indiana, back into areas just south of Chicago. So if you do live in this marginal risk for tomorrow, you're definitely going to want to be, a little bit weather aware here or there, as we could be seeing a little bit of isolated wind and as well as some hail. So we'll keep an eye on it. Worst case is that we may see 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds for tomorrow, but, other than that, it doesn't really look to be a major concern tomorrow, given the fact that not very many people will be at risk. And then finally, for day 3, they did add a marginal risk to parts of eastern New Mexico and parts of the western and western panhandles of Texas, and as well as Oklahoma. So if you guys do live in this marginal risk after tomorrow, which will be on Saturday, you guys need to be keeping an eye out. And you don't need to be watching today or even tomorrow, but definitely be watching as we head into your weekend, as we could be seeing, some wind and hail, but that does still remain a little bit uncertain. Let's now go ahead and look at the tropics. This is what we're even more concerned about, as we have already been, watching for some new development down here across parts of the Caribbean heading into the Gulf of Mexico, where we do have a 40% chance of development during the next 7 days. Same goes over here for parts of the central Atlantic, got a 40% chance of Gordon redeveloping, as it does, move over here towards, parts of the United Kingdom, because we could very well see this, take a right turn and move east towards the United Kingdom. So we will be watching for something like that, which does remain uncertain because, United Kingdom is very far away from where the system will develop, but I'm just pointing that out because that's what models have been showing. And then let's, look at this one too as well. I know it has a very low chance of development. We're only talking around a 20% chance of development, but look how it shows it heading towards the East Coast. That could be a little bit concerning depending on, how exactly things play out, but it may also be because this high pressure system is, trying to bring it towards the, parts of the United States. So, we'll be watching it very closely, but, that's kind of a little iffy still on if it will, really do anything. But, we'll be watching this one too, especially because it shows it heading towards the eastern United States, like I said. So, make sure to also be paying attention to this one if you do live anywhere on the East Coast. But let's now go ahead and take a look at what we can expect if this thing develops down there towards the Gulf of Mexico and as well as the Caribbean, which, like I said, as of right now just has a 40% chance of development. We are keeping an eye on it because this is the GFS model right here. I know it doesn't say that, but this is really the GFS model, and it wants to show the system heading on to shore right around the western panhandle of Florida and as well as southern Alabama and southern Mississippi, which actually got impacted by Francine. So if they get impacted again from this system, this could, be a pretty big disaster, and it won't be very easy for the system, or it will be easy rather for the system to cause damage, especially because of how the soils in these areas are already very saturated from Francine. So if you guys get more rainfall, this is going to be a pretty big flash flood event, maybe even a high risk for flash flooding needing to get issued if the system does develop. And then after it shows it making landfall, it shows it that it will continue to impact parts of the Carolinas and as well as Georgia. Perhaps we could also be seeing a high threat for flash flooding there too as well, but as of right now that does remain uncertain because we are looking all the way out into October 1st, so do expect some things to change. Now this is another model, okay? This is the CMC model, the Canadian model. We are looking at this system maybe getting a little bit stronger when we're looking at this model, but still becoming pretty disorganized in some cases. And instead of impacting the Carolinas, it shows that it will impact areas like Tennessee, Kentucky, southern Illinois, southern Indiana, parts of Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma. All those areas could be on the table for some heavy rainfall and as well as some flash flooding. So we'll be keeping an eye on it. If this does, continue to stay really strong, we could very well see, maybe even some tornadoes. But like I said, that does remain very uncertain because we are looking at the end of this month. Now, this is the last model. This is the European model, okay? The European model does not want to show any development at all. Maybe a little bit of something going down here towards parts of eastern Mexico, but other than that, it doesn't really show any development. So that's something that we do need to keep an eye on still. But gosh, this is kind of giving us some headaches on if this system will really get going and turn into a hurricane. And if it does turn into a hurricane, it will likely be Hurricane Helene as it makes landfall somewhere around the south and southeast. And, it just uncertain on where it goes after it does that. So, that, like I said, is giving us some pretty good headaches on where exactly it will go. But, all I want you guys to do right now is to just be watching, okay? And, it's always good to be prepared just in case. But thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy today's weather forecast. Like I said, if you are new here to the YouTube channel, or if you haven't subscribed already, make sure to go down below and click that subscribe button. It's free. It doesn't cost anything to do. All you gotta do is just click that subscribe button and it will just be added on. But that's all you need to do. And like I said, it's free. It doesn't cost anything to do. So make sure to do that. Don't forget to also press that like button down below too as well. That will help out more than you know. So make sure to do that also. And then, like I said, leave any comments, questions, or concerns that you guys have down below. You guys haven't been leaving any comments as much, so I would appreciate if you guys will leave a few down below. And like I said, always make sure they are respectful before you leave them down below, or else you will be blocked. So make sure to leave any respectful comments that you would like to leave down below. And I hope you guys all have a great day.